Today is Juneteenth. And that means we're celebrating the day 160 years ago when enslaved people in Galveston, Texas, finally learned they had been freed. Lots of other people knew, but they didn't know in Galveston.
Wow.
And here we are, 160 years later. And we're having some strong discussions. And let me tell you, the NAACP made the historic move not to invite a sitting president to their national convention, and this is why. NAACP President Derek Johnson says they're not sending an invitation to the White House for the first time since 1909. Watch the clip.
Our job is to make democracy work and fight to protect democracy. And there's a conflict. There's a conflict with the things that he has done, that he's doing, and things that are being planned with our job.
So the theme of this year's convention is the fierce urgency of now, focusing on political divisions and threats to civil rights. So the question is, does not inviting him send the right message, or is it a missed opportunity? Now, I personally think...
What do you think?
I think it's all right that they didn't invite him, because you generally would invite folks if you thought there could be a dialogue. But there is not a real solid possibility of having a dialogue, a meaningful one with him, about the changes that he's making and how they're affecting. So I think they saved themselves, you know, a chicken dinner. And he'll get somebody who can actually speak to this and how to make the changes. That's my thoughts. What do you think?
Well, I agree with you, Whoopi. You know, the NAACP, what many people don't understand is it's a nonpartisan organization. And it's also a civil rights organization that has been, and what we have seen with this new Trump administration, Trump 2.0, is you know, he's attacking the civil rights that our ancestors, upon whom we stand on their shoulders, fought for and lost their lives for. He signed what I believe are unconstitutional executive orders to oppress voters and undo federal civil rights protections. He even ended initiatives for affirmative action and diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. And also, he terminated a number of NIH grants that support scientific research on health equity and racial disparities. And a federal judge, by the way, on Monday declared some of those cuts void and illegal, accusing the government of racial discrimination. And so when you have that in context as background, I think it makes a lot of sense. And the last thing I'll say is he declined to speak. Trump declined to speak at the NAACP when he was the nominee in 2016 and as president, 2017, 2018, and 2019. He doesn't want to go there. They don't need to have him there.
Well, I have a list of other firsts that Donald Trump has achieved. Would you like to hear them?
Yes.
Not really.
I mean, this is not the only thing that he was first in. Give him some credit. He's the first president convicted of a felony.
That's true. 34 of them.
He's the first president to pay hush money to a porn star.
That we know of. That we know of.
She got
Abraham
a point. She
Lincoln.
got a point.
He's the first president to make an enemy of Canada.
Yep.
He's the first president to publicly mock the disabled. He's the first president to not offer condolences after a politically motivated killing.
Yeah.
He's the first president to plan a North Korean-style parade that barely anyone attended.
Yeah.
So you see, he has other firsts.
Yeah.
So generally when we have the conversation, because we've had it here a few times around whether people should host or interview the President of the United States, my argument is generally with an interview, yes. So he spoke, we talked about during the election cycle, to the National Association of Black Journalists. I thought that was valuable because you had people like ABC News' Rachel Scott hold his feet to the fire on policy. And I do believe that a presidential candidate and certainly a president, what they say is newsworthy newsworthy, even if it's offensive, even if we disagree with it, because it affects all of us. In this regard, I don't think the NAACP has any obligation to invite him. To me, that's if somebody is not aligned with your viewpoints, with your policy initiatives, I don't think you're obligated to invite the political
But
figure
he
of
would
the other
be
side.
booed anyway.
But no, but I was going to say, I think it's a missed
Right.
opportunity
Yeah.
for Trump, not for the NAACP,
Yes.
because he did start to make some headway with black male voters in this country. Got the most votes of a Republican since Gerald Ford, and this could be an opportunity to hear from some of those people, to hear what priorities are. But do we think he's going to hear
No.
people? That's
You'd have to have an open mind, open heart for that one, and I can't give him either of those. But their whole cause is civil rights, and here is a man that his executive orders have led to agencies eliminating initiatives and celebrations related to MLK Day, Black History Month, Juneteenth.
Jackie Robinson.
I mean, all the things. I can't stop but think about the movie Hidden Figures, which moved me. It's one of those movies I will never forget. And it makes you, that's the tip of the iceberg. It's how many more stories, how much more history do we not know? And to know that we are already decades and decades behind in knowing the people, the faces, the names.
And they're
to see
erasing
them
history.
well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
To roll any of it back when we were already so far behind. He is not allowed to sit with us at the end. No, ACP. Can't come to the dinner. Can't come to the barbecue. He's not invited to the barbecue.
He's not invited.